So I did a little experiment late summer in my garden. I had this wood chip mulch pile that was from a load of wood chips that was dropped off last year, and I've used it slowly to mulch in my garden on my paths and such. And as it got down towards the bottom, a lot of the wood chips are pretty decomposed. There was actually a lot of earthy matter in it. And so instead of scraping it all the way down to the soil, what I decided to do was to leave some of it in an area out in front of my garden here. And I decided to plant squash in it. And it has, as you can see, worked out pretty well. Rather than planting right in the wood chip mulch, what I did was to facilitate the further decomposition of the wood chips, I scraped back a layer of wood chips. I put a pretty liberal layer of high nitrogen soil amendment in there, and covered it back up, and that is basically to increase the nitrogen to carbon ratio to speed up the decomposition and composting effect. And then I basically dug holes where I was going to plant each of the squash seeds, and put in a mixture of soil, raw rotted compost, and some other soil amendments, and then I planted the seeds in those. And I've got basically summer squash around the outside of this bed, and then winter squash in the middle. And as you can see here, the winter squash have, this one was actually just out here, coming out into the grassy area, and I just am kind of guiding it back into the pile. And so, since winter squash are a vining plant, I just kind of guide them back into the middle and try to keep them filling in the empty areas. You can see one of these here. It's I mean, this is a pretty big vine. So I'm just kind of trying to fill in the areas where maybe we didn't get germination, or there's a gap or whatever. So I'll give an update later, maybe in a few weeks, and let you know what kind of fruit we're getting off. We got a lot of flowers and some small summer squash so far. I'm not sure if the winter squash will actually be able to produce because of the fact that they were planted late. But you can see here's some yellow squash. These are summer squash that should be ready in actually probably a few days to a week. And you can see in there the big vining winter squash. And it sends out tendrils and grabs onto everything, which is, why you can actually trellis winter squash if you have something for it to grow on, and particularly to support the fruit. Sometimes you have to put in little slings to hold the heavy fruit. But this has been a neat experiment I've tried this year, and it's worked out pretty well. So just another way that you can take unused space and or potential growing area and improve it and make something out of it.